What the heck is up, everybody? It's a beautiful Friday morning here in Kansas City. Hopefully it's an awesome morning for you, too. Guess what? I'm off. I've actually been off all week, but I've been doing stuff. But today, the wife has gone at a book fair for my kid, and then she's gonna go pick up some stuff, I think, somewhere from Facebook Market. Hopefully she doesn't get murdered. You never know. But anyway, I am free to game a little bit this morning, and that is badass. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody, as always. Polish off my coffee for a nice little kick. Delicious. So yeah, for those of you who are here for the Path of Exile fun, you'll see that I am running a Discharge Ignite Elementalist, and I finally got some in-game gear. And you'll notice that this looks really weird for a caster, right? Like, I have some life reserved. That's because I'm now running Petrified Blood. I was super squishy, so I kind of switched things up a little bit to see if I could fix that. And Elementalist actually gains a pretty huge amount of life regeneration, oddly enough. So you regenerate 2% per second while moving, and then with this master you get 2% of life when you ignite a non-ignited enemy. But yeah, so when you have Petrified Blood, and you're at low life, which is 50% of life, basically life recovery doubles, right? Effectively. And so between Vitality and all of this like life regeneration stuff that I've got around the tree, and I have 68 plus 75, so 140 life regen here as well. So I'm regenerating a lot of life, and it seems to be making a difference. Granted, I've only run one map so far, so we're going to put this to the test and go fight a conqueror, because I'm insane. Yeah, so we'll see how this works, this Petrified Blood thing. I also got Feral's Fur, so now my charge up time is going to be much better. So super sketchy. I sort of alluded to the fact that my wife is going to get some stuff off Facebook Marketplace. What I did not mention is that she is literally going to like sort of a bad part of town. I mean, not necessarily like super bad, but definitely like, you know, pretty blue collar and like industrial. And there are definitely some like, you know, meth kind of druggish areas around. And she is literally buying 55-gallon barrels. It's like this dude that advertises tons of barrels. And I was like, damn, I really hope you don't end up in one of those barrels. Please let me know if that's going to be a possibility. Yeah, it sounds super suspect, right? Hey, Jesse wants some barrels, exactly. Super sketchy, man. Super sketchy, but that's okay. It's all right. We're gonna operate under the assumption that this guy is on the up and up and everything's cool. Just dive in. No, actually, the best way to get into this game is look up a build. This is like historically, I have been, you know, a figure it out on your own kind of guy, which I guess technically you can do with this. But I mean, dude, this is the skill tree. Like, look at the freaking skill tree. And this is the skill tree after it's been pared down. Like, there used to be like literally 40 to 50% more skills on here. It's, this is overwhelming, right? Like, you look at all this shit and you're like, oh, spell damage, crit for spells, strength and intelligence, light radius, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, hey, here's chaos damage over time multiplier. Do I want that? I don't know. So, what you do is you figure out a character that you like. So there's, here, you know what? So this should tell you how complex this game is. There is a community-maintained build planner for, like, everything. So yeah, so there's 7 main classes. All right, so one is the Scion, which is sort of like a combo of whatever you want. Then there's everything from Witch, Shadow, Ranger, Duelist, Marauder, which is Barbarian, and Templar. Yeah, so anyway, you pick a character that you like. There's a shitload of skills. So here are the skills. Granted, not all of these are skills. Most of these are support gems, which support your skills. But basically, you can go to like the wiki or something and just figure out something that looks cool. Or even you could just do something simple like, hey, I like, you know, being a rogue, then just do Ranger build. You know, Google that, like Path of Exile Ranger build, and it'll come up with, you know, random stuff. Bow, one of the Ranger does like poison stuff, so you know, you'll probably find something for that, and then use a build. But yeah, use a build guide, because there's just so much shit to consider. Like, I can tell you what I sort of gave a brief overview of what I'm doing. This is actually a pretty complex character, so this is a sort of bad example of what, you know, a beginning character. Oh, if they'd made Diablo like this, it would have been killer? Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of the, wasn't Diablo sort of the inspiration for this? Like, my understanding was that originally, Chris Wilson and his team of, what, like 3 people or something, developed Path of Exile because Diablo 3 was taking forever to get released. So they were just like, well, fuck it, we can do this. We know how to do this stuff. And so they did. And they had the brilliant idea of actually doing what Blizzard said they were going to do and, you know, releasing leagues on a regular schedule. It's like, dude, I was so balls deep in Diablo 2, man. I played so much Diablo 2, thousands of hours. And the ladder resets that they had were... Oh, so yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, this Path of Exile basically gets a huge patch every 3 months, with lots of new content and lots of, like, fixes and stuff. And so they just, like, keep the game... Yeah, they keep the game fresh. And so Blizzard, with Diablo, they had a very similar setup, except they didn't really release new content. They just kind of usually didn't release new content. They just sort of, like, patched fixes. But they did it on a weird schedule. Like, they just kind of did it whenever. And it was usually few and far between, you know, like maybe once a year. And, but it was, like, every 8 months or 9 months or something, you know, they just, like, do it at random times. And it just felt bad. It felt super bad because you'd, like, you know, kind of do all the characters that you wanted to do, and there were these same problems that you had to deal with for months at a time, and, you know, they wouldn't release any fixes or anything, and then finally they would just be randomly like, okay, we're gonna have a new ladder season. But yeah, Path of Exile is regular. They release really good, you know, hot fixes and stuff for problems that occur. Blizzard did not do any of that. It's just a much better run and maintain game, honestly, all around. So yeah, this is like what Diablo always could have been, basically. And Diablo 3 was just a massive flop, in my opinion. Like, in terms of in-game, because all the itemization was just not interesting. Like, all of the characters ended up being the same. If anybody's never played Diablo 3, basically what your character ends up being is, like, you have 2 main stats, whether it's, like, life and strength or intelligence or whatever. Now, I've forgotten what they were, even. But basically, you just want life and your 2 main stats on everything. Plus some, like, weapon damage. And that's it. So, very uninteresting. Whereas, by contrast, Path of Exile has that. So, with tons of different stats that, like, relate to everything. So, yeah, definitely done much better here. A game with continued support. A free game at that. My Fit is Fire. Yeah, dude, I busted away from the white t-shirt. Can you believe it? It's a new era. I got it on underneath, though, so if you're feeling uncomfortable, if it's weird for you, I can just take this off. Is that cool? Are you all right? You can stop rocking in the corner. Oh, man. One of the biggest reasons I went into anesthesia is I get to wear pajamas to work every day. 2 to spawn Conqueror. All right. Let's do that. Do I have to work today? No, I am off this week. So one of the really nice things about anesthesia, I don't know if this is true of medicine in general. I really have very little clue about what other professions do other than my own. I'm in my own little, like, you know, insular, climate-controlled world when I'm at work. But anyway, anesthesia comes with a lot of vacation. You know, a lot of that's because it's a very stressful, demanding, unpredictable profession. But a lot of it is just kind of like industry standard that's been held up. So I have 10 weeks of vacation every year, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, I'm off this week and just kind of chilling this morning, man. My wife's working a, like, book fair in my kid's school, and then, as we discussed previously, hopefully not getting murdered in a bad part of town while picking up a 55-gallon barrel. And I am here by myself with really nothing to do. Actually, what I should be doing is photographing and putting up for sale all of my Warhammer models. That was like my personal goal for the rest of my vacation, and I have fallen sadly short of that goal so far. I have them all set out, and I have one photo taken, but that's, or no, excuse me, I have all of one army set out, and I have 3 armies, photos to follow, and I have to, like, figure out how much they're worth and stuff, so I probably got a solid, you know, hour worth of work just for that one army ahead of me. 50, yeah, yes, really, believe it or not. So, my kid is obsessed with trains, and she's gonna use, like, she found a guy on Facebook Market who's, I can't remember if he's selling them. I think he's selling 55-gallon barrels for cheap. And she's gonna use that as, like, the body of a train. She's gonna, like, make a train for him. And she found some other dude who's, like, selling bicycle wheels, and she's, like, put some solid effort into this. But yeah, I was saying earlier, she's going to sort of this, like, kind of industrial, sort of methy part of town. And, I hope very much that she doesn't get put in one of those barrels. I mean, I especially hope she doesn't pay for it, too, because that'd just be insult to injury, right? You buy the barrel that you get stuffed in. Bad day. Bad Friday. Sounds ambitious, exactly. Well, she is nothing if not ambitious, I will tell you that. But I don't know, her idea sounds really cool, and my kid is all about it, dude. We go to our freaking zoo, like, 4 times a week. Kansas City actually has a pretty decent zoo. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's pretty good. It's big, and there's a lot to do there. But they have a train, like, all we do is we show up and, like, ride the train. And, like, get a, like a frozen ice kind of thing. Shaped ice. That's it. Unfortunately, they have, like, a member pass. Like, a yearly pass thing, so we just pay once and don't have to worry about it. Because otherwise we would basically have to take out a second mortgage to go to our freaking zoo. Oh shit. That was rough. If this killer's so smart to lure someone into a barrel and make them pay for it, you feel like he kind of earned it? I mean, fair enough, right? Better my wife in the barrel. I didn't say that. Wait, yeah, I did. Yeah, and he's so upfront about it too, right? I saw his post, and it's like, you know, he posted this huge stack of them. I mean, he's probably got like 80 of the things. I don't know where you get so many barrels if you're, you know, like, just like a normal dude, but whatever works. I know where you can get a lot of barrels. Do you? Do you? Why? Not legally, though, if I care about that. Ah. I'm a white guy, right? I'll be fine. Just kidding. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding. Sort of. Didn't that realtor in Texas who, like, stormed the Capitol get sentenced to prison or something? I thought I heard that. Where she, like, posted on Twitter and she was like, I'm a white lady with a good job. I'm never going to jail. Like, surprise! You're going to jail. What a shock. People are so stupid, dude. You can't fix stupid. Way to flex my privilege. Yeah, exactly. Or her privilege. She tried super hard, but now she's going to jail for 2 months because she's an idiot. Yeah, I don't know how this I don't know how the barrel thing's gonna go, but we'll see. I've sort of, like, stopped trying to sell shit on Facebook Market, honestly. It just doesn't seem worth the time. There's so many people who, like, want things for free, or, like, have totally unrealistic expectations or desires. Like, hey, oh, you're selling this thing for $5? Will you drive an hour to drop that off to me at my house? Like, what? No? No! Or, hey, I don't have the cash, but will you hold that $5 item for me for 2 months while I get paid? No. No, we won't. That said, we did sell a, like, this really heavy cabinet. Like, we assembled this cabinet and figured out that we're stupid and can't read dimensions, and that it was, like, way too big for the area that we were putting in. It was like we were putting it in this like little hallway, but it was like super deep, so it took up like a third of the hallway, and it just looked really weird and was fucked up. But anyway, you know, we put in the ad like, dude, you have to move this, because it actually, like, you know, when IKEA boxes stuff in multiple boxes, that it's gonna be heavy as shit, and that's what they did. I think it was in 3 boxes, and like assembled, I don't know how much it weighed, over 100 pounds probably. But like, we put in the Facebook ad like, you've got to move this yourself, we are not going to help you. And sure as shit, like, dude showed up with one of his friends and they moved it out. And our house sucks to move things out of, by the way. There's like probably about 10 stairs that you got to go down, like, because we're sort of on a hill, we live on a hill. And so that's like, that's not a small ask. Move a heavy ass, like, you know, curio cabinet kind of thing down those stairs. But they did it, man. People do anything to save a buck. And it was brand new, you know, so we priced it, I think, like, I don't know, it was like a $300 cabinet or something. We priced it like $250, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll come and do that. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Oh yeah, one thing that I wanted to talk about. If you guys are, like, so miniatures gaming is like really, really hard to get into, and as you guys probably know, I'm a huge Warhammer fan. Should have charged extra since I assembled it. Dude, that's kind of how I feel. So now I will, like, these two things are going to segue really weird. Watch this. So, yeah, so I'm a huge Warhammer fan, and I wasn't planning on talking about this. This is actually not where I was going, but I buy lots of stuff, like, secondhand. And usually, well, these days I buy it all, like, painted and well done and stuff. But it's amazing how little people value their time. And, like, the secondary market for Warhammer is just so weird. In case you're curious what I'm talking about, it's Warhammer 40,000. It's like a miniatures tabletop game. Very cool, by the way. If you've got a bunch of free time to kill, speaking of which, take up an extremely expensive, time-consuming hobby. There you go. That's an option. But, like, these models are crazy expensive, and some of the people who, like, paint them are just immensely talented and either don't know or don't care. And, like, generally the market for, like, an extremely well-painted model is, like, double retail. And, you know, these models take, like, hours to paint each one, you know, so they're probably valuing their time at, like, under $10 an hour. Probably more like $5 an hour. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. Like, I have neither the talent nor the time to do that. And I probably won't have either in any sort of reasonable time frame. So, yes, I will buy that. And actually, things that are, like, well painted, you know, like, you would look at it and be like, damn, that's really cool, cost retail. Like, that's just the secondary market for it. That's how it works. And I do not understand that. But yeah, generally things that are assembled are cheaper than retail. And things that are, like, painted okay are cheaper than, like, substantially cheaper than retail. Like, dude, there's so much work that went into this. But hey, whatever works, man. Anyway, where I was going with this is there's a game called Mordheim that the same manufacturer, Games Workshop, released probably about 20 years ago now. And for some reason, it just went defunct. It was, like, probably their best balanced, like, most accessible game that they've ever released. And it just went away. And now all of the rules are, like, publicly available. Like, if you Google, well, here, I will show you. If you Google Mordheim rules, you will get the rules straight from, I did this recently, obviously, straight from the designer. This is, like, the designer's website. And, like, all of the rules are right here. It's really pretty simple to play. It's very straightforward. The armies are all pretty balanced. They're fun. And you need, like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour tops to play a game. Probably less than that if you're, like, you know, once you kind of get rolling and are familiar with the rules. And it's not the, like, massive expense and, you know, in terms of both time and money that Warhammer is. So if you feel like stepping into a cool miniatures game, that's a really, really good option. Should have. So, yeah, I fully recommend that. And I stepped back into that this week, actually, with one of my partners from work who's into that sort of stuff. It was really cool. Had an awesome morning. And it's a campaign-based game, too. So it's like all about small warbands like combing this dead city for like magic shit and, you know, loot, essentially. Oh god. And so like all your guys can like level up and, you know, get injured and, you know, find cool weapons and armor and stuff. It's awesome. It's a great game. Definitely worth your time if that sort of thing appeals to you. Oop, there's lots of shit going on. Lots of shit going on. I think I might be dying. Oh, yep. Hey, look. I was right. Oh, super weird. Okay. I never noticed that this was 13% increased cast speed. Oh, bummer. Wow. Well, that was a mistake to buy. I think I bought that for like 25 chaos though, so no big deal. I guess I'm in the market for Searing Touch. Let's look at that. Searing Touch Lathy. I need 3 blues, 2 greens, 1 red. Perfect. They're really expensive. That's awesome. Med schools who are anal about community service, which on the, like, superficially, all of them say that, though, right? Every single school is like, oh, we are all about community outreach. Yes, of course. Like, because that's what makes money, right? Is community outreach, serving underserved populations. Nope. No, it's not. That is not what keeps the hospital afloat. In fact, if you have more than, like, I've forgotten what the number is, but something like 30 to 35% of your patients are Medicare or Medicaid, you, like, can't survive without subsidies, whether you're an independent group or hospital. Which is pretty damning, since usually way more than that, like way more than that, is Medicare and Medicaid. If you're any sort of, like, general purpose hospital. Like, maybe not if you're like a private surgery center or an endoscopy center or something, but like straight up hospitals, dude. But yeah, the med school thing, the volunteering, 150 hours non-clinicals, like, that's so much time, dude. There's a lot of time to just, like, volunteer in random stuff, especially when you're trying to, like, you know, get your apps together and ace all your classes and stuff. But yeah, I can't speak for other, like, interviewers or admissions committees or anything, but if I saw somebody who just did that much volunteering, and, you know, if you like it and you get something out of it, then great. You know, more power to you. Medical missions, you know, working at harvesters, whatever you're doing, that's awesome. Like, we need more volunteers. I applaud that. But if you're just like, yeah, well, I did this and I checked the box, then, like, okay. That was a waste of your time. Why are you here talking to us about it? I do understand the value of playing the game, because that's something that I did not do very well. Yeah, I played the game very poorly, so that is definitely something to consider. You know, if all of your competition has these things, then you're sort of bound to have them yourself, or else. Yeah, med school application in particular is just a fucking racket, dude. It is terrible. There are some schools that I remember basically just take your money and reject you. They're like, we want you to send in $150 for this secondary application. Yo, thanks for your $150. Your application is denied. Fuck you. But yeah, in case you missed it, we were lamenting the fuckery of having to pay a whole bunch of money for secondary apps, which you will have the distinct pleasure of experiencing next year, I suppose. Where you basically, like, apply, you pay to apply, and then you also pay to apply again for each school. Just because they say, my milk is delicious? Yes! Yes! Yes, it is. Yeah, why pay at every step? Because we can make that happen. That's exactly right. And they do not care. You know, I was saying it was like, it's actually cheaper to apply to residency. And I mean, granted, you're just as poor when you go through residency, or when you, like, after you've been through med school, because, you know, you don't have a job, obviously, but, like, college students? I mean, come on. Like, you're gonna fleece college students? I mean, I guess it works. It's just one of the many, many things in the whole environment of medical education that's like, it's always been this way, so it's gonna stay this way. Great. That seems like a fantastic reason to overwork everybody and charge them a shitload of money for an underpaying job. And I know it sounds really weird to, like, claim medicine is underpaying when, you know, you're essentially guaranteed a 6-figure salary, but, like, dude, the opportunity cost. And we've talked about finances in medicine. For anybody who's watching that's interested in that, I actually made a YouTube video about finance in medicine and, like, how to take care of yourself and why it's, you know, there's a lot more to a career in medicine than just, like, making money, right? But, like, if that is your ultimate goal, then choose something else, because it's a very bad return on investment. DO schools costing more and focusing on primary care. Yeah, exactly. So this is a problem, right? We're kind of talking about this, like, sort of grazed this earlier when I was talking with 1v30 about in Discord about volunteering and, like, underserved programs and stuff with these hospitals. Like, they promote all of these things, like, you know, hey, we have this huge proportion of people who go into primary care, yay! Like, that's awesome, we serve underserved communities, yay! Like, but what they're really telling you is that their graduates probably aren't very well qualified because they're not going into these specialties, right? Or they're taking jobs in undesirable locations, you know, in specialties that are also undesirable. So, like, you know, they spin it and try to be like, oh yeah, we do lots of community outreach, but, like, is that really what's happening? You know, are these people there because they're choosing to be, or can they not get jobs anywhere else or other specialties? You know, I mean, surely there are plenty of people who want to do primary care. You know, they want to do internal medicine because it's awesome. It's generalist. You know, they're cool professions, no question. But they are also on the lower end of, you know, the pay scale. So, and they're harder these days. Like, there's a lot more production pressure. They're difficult. You know, you have to deal with complex patients in a very big time crunch. They're just hard jobs. And, you know, again, like, are these people actually choosing these things, or are they, you know, getting mediocre test scores and that's just their option? So, something to think about. Yeah, but I mean, always keep in mind that med schools, like, the vast majority of them are, you know, like, at their core, like, massive corporate entities, right? Like, these are multi-million-dollar businesses, sometimes multi-billion-dollar businesses. And they know how to advertise. They know how to spin shit. They know how to, you know, put up a good front. And they will do that in every phase of the game as long as it benefits them. So one of the weird things about anesthesia is you're always, like, with a different doctor as an anesthetist or as a resident. And they all have different preferences. Like, it's sort of a profession that encourages sort of, like, compulsive behavior, basically, because there's so many things that you have to, you know, account for to perform a safe anesthetic. And everybody kind of has their own way of doing those things, and often insist that other people do those things the same way that they do. And that can be rather challenging for the people working with them if you're, like, you know, switching up staff physicians frequently and stuff. Because you have to, like, remember each person's preference and adapt accordingly, which sort of sucks. But that was me, you know, like, as a resident, that's me, like, adapting to everybody, and then all of a sudden people are asking me what I want. I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want? What are you talking about? Don't you have, like, some certain way that you do this thing? And I'm, like, generally a pretty easygoing guy, so I'm like, whatever you have out is fine, you know, like, I don't care. I just spent 4 years, like, doing whatever the hell everybody else told me to do, and I've sort of stuck with that, you know, that attitude. Try to be easy to work with. Because it doesn't really do anybody any good if you're a dick. So I took the ascendancy that lets me shock everything, sort of with the idea that eventually I'd be using barracks or spite to spread those shocks and ignites. I don't know if that was a wise plan, though. I might switch to the chill ascendancy, because I think I'm going to use Lori's lantern as a ring, because it improves my survivability so much. And in case you didn't know, if I'm low life, Lori's Lantern makes enemy damage unlucky, which makes it re-roll and roll the like it applies the lowest effect. So it will make me much less susceptible to getting one shot, which is really what I have to worry about. I don't know, and I don't think I have enough resists on my other gear to to be able to wear 2 non-resist focused rings. And it's gonna take a lot of currency to like get like I want extra maximum charges on my other gear. So you can get a frenzy charge on your gloves, a power charge on your helmet, and an endurance charge on your boots, I think, if I'm right about that. And I would like to have at least 1 or 2 of those in my in-game gear, but that's gonna be pretty tough to do. Like multiple exalts for for any of those pieces, most likely. So I don't know how I'm gonna cope with that. It'll be a while before I can make that kind of currency. I don't know, maybe not though. I'm moving through these conquerors pretty decently. Oh, contract. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure, like, I've never seen anybody go Petrified Blood on a witch before, I don't think. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. I think Barracks is probably not going to be worth it, ultimately. Because I already have pretty good screen clear. I don't know that I need more of that, but I definitely need more survivability. And this is just at the very beginning of red maps, too, so... you know, obviously things are not going to get any easier as I keep going. Alright, Maven. Let's do this. There you go. Take that, Ignite. Take it. Oh, wait, there's 2 of them? No! No, where the fuck am I? Oh, that was so bad. So much for leveling. Stop doubling! I just want to live. Thank you. Alright. Now I'm going to be smart and open a town portal so I don't have to run all the way back here next time.
I am the fire of creation, and I shall purify your soul.
Purify my soul, huh? Not sure that's possible. But you can try. Oh shit, oh shit. Those things can shotgun you like crazy. Man, I'm really slow. I need more movement speed somehow. Ugh. Oops. Nice. Did I get the watchstone? Yeah. Cool. Alright. Moving right along. Lovely. Alright, well, with that, I believe that I am going to go get some lunch and get ready to pick up my kid. Yeehaw. So thanks everybody for joining me. I'm Milkman Al. Hope you enjoyed the unusual Friday morning excursion. That was cool. Don't get a chance to do that very often. So, yeah. Usually I'm on Wednesdays and Fridays from 8 to 10 p.m. Check out my YouTube if you want to see some of the videos that I've done about Medicine, Path of Exile, or both. I hope to see you this Sunday around 8 Central Time. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you had fun. And take it easy. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm out.